Okay, number 5. There is a single winged creature in Farmer Brown's field. Any other creatures in the field must be wingless. So let's start with the first bit. There is a single winged creature in Farmer Brown's field. So first, we need to say that there is a winged creature in Farmer Brown's field, such that a creature, let's just say that's an animal. If something's a creature, it's often used synonymously or with animal. So X is an animal, aka creature, and X has wings, and X is in Farmer Brown's field. So there's a winged creature in Farmer Brown's field, and we want to say there's a single winged creature in Farmer Brown's field. There aren't any others. And for all Y, if Y is a winged creature, oops. If Y is a winged creature in Farmer Brown's field, then Y is equal to X. Okay, so this says that there is a winged creature in Farmer Brown's field. That's this first bit. And the second bit says that anything that is a winged creature is just X. So there's only one of them. And then the second bit of this English sentence says that any other creatures in the field must be wingless. So we can write that, and for all Z, if X is not equal to Z, then any other creatures in the field must be wingless. Then if Z is a creature in Farmer Brown's field, then Z does not have wings. All right, so this symbolizes the whole sentence. I mean, sorry about the line break here, but just imagine it's all strung together in one line. So it's worth noting that this last bit here, this is equivalent to this. Oops. These two are equivalent. So it makes it redundant to just add this extra bit on the end. I mean, that's what the, yeah. So since when we're grading, if you write something equivalent to the correct answer, then we'll grade it correctly. If you had just omitted this last bit, we still would have graded it correctly because this last bit is just equivalent to this. And so you're just repeating extra information. It's redundant. Anyhow, that was just a little side note. All right, number 6. The Pegasus is a winged horse. Ooh. So there are a couple different readings, I think, that how we could think of this sentence. So the first one is the following. So this reading is kind of like a David Attenborough nature documentary reading of the sentence. So can you imagine just like some nature documentary? You'd say the Pegasus is a winged horse as like a description of the species, right? And that's one possible reading of the sentence. But and if on that reading, that just says that everything that's a Pegasus is a horse with wings. But another reading of the sentence is something quite different. because at least in Greek mythology, Pegasus is a unique character. It's not, it's a single being, right? There's only one Pegasus. And so and on that reading, we could just say the thing that is Pegasus is a winged horse, right? Since there's only one of them. And so in this different reading, on this alternative reading, what we'd get is this. There is a horse, there is a Pegasus, and that Pegasus is unique. Right, so what this says is that there is a Pegasus, and there's only one of them, and that thing is a winged horse. The thing that is Pegasus is a winged horse. So these are two non-equivalent readings. Oftentimes, when you encounter the word the in English, the means it's unique. There's only one thing that the describes. And so because of that, you might think this second sentence is probably a better thing of what the English is trying to get at, but we really need more context to decide between the two. All right. Number 7. The animal in Farmer Brown's field is not a horse. All right. So the animal. That means that there is an animal in Farmer Brown's field and there's only one of them, right? It says the animal. So there exists an X such that X is an animal and X is in Farmer Brown's field. And we need to make sure that there's only one of these animals. So for all Y, if Y is an animal in Farmer Brown's field, this says that there's an animal in Farmer Brown's field. That's the first bit. This bit says that the animal is unique. And it says the animal in Farmer Brown's field is not a horse. And it's not the case that this unique animal is a horse. That's what we get. Number 8, the horse in Farmer Brown's field does not have wings. All right, so again, it's the horse. There's only one of them. So there exists an X such that X is a horse and X is in Farmer Brown's field. So it says that there is a horse in Farmer Brown's field. Then we need to make sure that horse is unique. So it says that there's exactly one horse in Farmer Brown's field. And the last thing we need to add is that the horse does not have wings. And that's the sentence. We got, there is a horse in Farmer Brown's field. That's the first bit. That horse is unique. So we have the horse in Farmer Brown's field. Does not have wings, not W of X. When you're translating or symbolizing stuff using identity, it's often about, there are these kind of specific clauses and patterns that repeat themselves. And you need to kind of take note of what those patterns are and just use them appropriately in your translation. So for example, when you're saying like the horse or the animal or the anything, it's this kind of pattern, right? There, you need to say that there is something that has that property as the first bit. Then there's the second bit, you say that's the only thing that has that property. And then you go on and specify whatever other things the sentence requires. So that's one pattern that you should be familiar with. There was one earlier on as well. There are, I think, what did it say? There are at least 3 horses in the world. right? So that's another pattern, at least. Whenever you have there are at least something, you do it like this kind of pattern, right? So in this case, there are at least 3. We need 3 variables. We specify whatever properties those things are, and we make sure that none of them are the same thing. And that gets us there is at least. The various patterns that you should know, they're in the textbook. I strongly suggest going over them. Yeah, you need to know these patterns in order to do any correct translations of anything involving identity. So, yep, go over them, and hopefully that'll help.